Hello there, how's it there? Ame Gakita. I technically want to start as soon as possible. How do I need to? Okay. Technically, you guys can see the whole area kind of clear up in a way. I'll turn on the light as well. I'll turn on the light. I get it. Come here. Okay, let's use this one. And you guys will be wondering what kind of light I'm using. But yeah, technically I'm going to do technical reading. No, don't want you guys to come and say that am I even doing anything else. But technically for today, the tarot card reading is a bit might be a bit confusing. It's really more towards like today is more on whatever reading I do for you guys. If it's a bad one, I will highlight, but it's more towards like you guys cannot accept it, must let it go. But at the same time, you must kind of face it. And for good reading, it's more towards like don't wish for it because it's not things that is meant to happen, and it's more towards like you need to be even more careful along the line. ちょっと待ってね。よっしゃ。Okay. At the very least, get to that. Ready. You know, you guys are wondering, am I even ready to do the reading along the line? It's kind of like one of the things that sometimes even I myself can be a bit concerned. But anyway, everyone and Wilson, how you guys day? I kind of like was chatting a little bit. Yes, I know you've been crying. That is unavoidable. But at the same time, you also need to accept it. Things that happen, not whether you like it or not, it's still something that really kind of happened in a way. And as much as I hate it along, I mean, like you have to accept it because life can never be kind to us. Whether we like it or not. Let me see. I also need to set things up properly. I need to set things up properly because I got quite a lot of things. I might have to end up redoing a lot of stuff too. Okay, at the very least, that one is all set up. Okay, at the very least. Number one, is that ever happy with you? Number two, how your seminar will go. Number three, your money. And number four, about your luck. I will have to give a bit of like sad reality for you, Vanessa. Today is the lunar eclipse. So, in a way, I have to say that sadly, number one, I can do. Number two, I cannot do. Number three, best not to do. And number 4, that one cannot today. It's actually more towards like another day. Okay, I have to explain why, okay? Because the thing is, right, Lunar Eclipse is also kind of like a chaos in a way. It's also, in a way, right, I cannot do a moment of like, because the thing is, right, even if you say it's a ghost or not, is it there or not, I do not know. But the one thing is that the reason why I can do number 1 is that because it is for you to let it go. That one I can do. But the thing is, number 2, the seminar is more towards I can do it, but if it's a bad reading, I want you to face it. But if it's a good reading, you cannot take it for granted. And you must ignore it. That's why, are you able to accept that or not? Then for number 3, because it's also chaos, if anything else about money in a chaos moment, it's like, it's not going to be a good one. So money one, I have to stop it. And for your luck, I mean, like, you have to be specific on what kind of luck. You have to at least highlight what kind of thing though. Because I ain't gonna throw in a questionable one at the moment. Because if you aren't gonna say it, it will be kind of like gotcha. And this one is answering you right now already. Let's see. The gacha one is already answered out already. You want to do the reading on that end because it's not related to what you want. The answer for your gacha luck is basically 10 of Pendulum. It will happen good for you, young lady. It's more towards like we have to let it go. But the one thing is that you have to be very, very careful is that you still might end up putting quite a lot for it, even if it's a good luck. So whether will it come for you or not, it still kind of like depend in a way. I have to at least highlight that it is dependable in a way, but it may come, but you need to be very careful as well. So that one is not really sure in a way, because even it's a good luck, it's kind of like you better be careful. But now we're gonna do your actual reading. So we're gonna do, and one thing is that in regards how is one is like when your past, we're gonna take it that your past trick will be like your cat in a way. And interestingly, this all 3 card decided to call you out with this card. I wonder why. Even though I just said 3. It's a little bit concerned. It's a little bit concerning. Oh my god. Is the 8 or so upside down? Pendulum 6. The death card upside down. And the Page of Pendulum upside down. The demon card upside down. I said this before earlier, Venison. If it's a bad card, you must face it. and let it go. Gonna hurt me a lot saying it right now though. Oh, Shiro-san, hello there. How have you been? August Strength Judgment card. Hey, those are nice. Okay, for Venice-san, the one thing I can definitely say that the cat is no longer suffering as what you are afraid of, apparently. It won't be bad to you, because this one is you. You are not concerned in so many ways. But the funny thing is, right, it's a good thing that the demon is no longer following you, because someone is like, I'm not sure is the cat still alive or not, but apparently someone actually kind of like pick up the cat, and in a way it's like you are sad over it. It does mean that it can also mean that the cat is not suffering with it, like you want it to rest, but it can also mean that the cat may still be alive and someone pick it up along the line. But it is a possibility. That's why it's like a good and bad at the reading. That's why I say it's very concerned, but it's also kind of like interesting in a way though. And yes, it may be taken as a possibility. And the thing is that because your cat is no longer with you, the demon cannot follow you. It's kind of interesting in a way, because it does mean that Cell was having a demon in it. And that's the reason why you've been seeing quite a lot of things. But if the cat is no longer with you, then the demon won't follow you. Which is kind of like... I think you might want to take note for the next few days. Are you seeing those kind of spiritual things? Just in case. Because if you don't, it means that the reason why you've been saying it was because of your cat though. This one I think you might have to face it first. I cannot be sure, because it's kind of interesting in a way though. The issue on the end, right, Shiro-san, is that for Venice-san here, or Lafayette-san, is that it's actually more towards like the cat disappeared and it was sick in a way. But the thing is, right, she assumed that the cat died, but from what I'm reading is that the cat may be alive and someone take care of it. But at the same time, because it's not... No, I know you say that you can see ghosts, but when the cat is with you, you get to see it more often. But when the cat is not with you, you don't see it in a way. Like the bad one, I have to at least highlight, the bad one is not following you, from what I understand. But at the same time, you kind of like you're kind of sad over here because based on this reading. That's why I'm kind of like wondering, like... Yeah, the thing is, right, a lot of people have including myself, had a thinking like it is the cat, when they disappear, when they're going to die, they will disappear in a way because they don't want people to think too much about it along the line, and he just want to move on with his life and move on. But from the reading, it doesn't seem like... But it might be kind of like free from it. And also it might be also... I mean like... From the reading, it's just that maybe it was also kind of like move to a better way though. So I can't say is it a good thing or is it a bad thing. That's the thing. Nope, this one is not the right card calling me. I know he's sick, but at the same time, it shows that the cat is... Okay, let's put it this way, Vincent. Even if the cat do pass away, we have to at least say that. We have to at least say that. If the cat did pass away, it is no longer suffering and is moving on into a good life, in a good afterlife, and we should be happy for it. But if it means that it's not suffering and someone take care of it, then it means that someone is willing to bring the cat maybe to a hospital to check out, and then maybe the cat got a good maybe kind of like being healing up along the line, and I think that would be considered a good thing in a way though. So far this is giving me that second vibe from what I'm looking at it. And I think to you is that you have to accept it. You have to face that. That even if it's your cat, if it's still alive and someone is still kind of like taking good care of it, I think it's in the good life. You should accept that point of this thing. Yeah, it's the reason why you are sad right now though. And you have to face it. That's the thing. But I don't want you to go and outright say that is it a good thing or is it a bad thing. It's more towards like confusing in a way. That's why I was like concerned, like why is the readings giving me two different way of reading, but the second one, the one I mentioned to you, is kind of like it made me really question like why is it though? Okay. Yeah, I know you got too many cats already. Okay, in regards, right, now we're gonna do your seminar for your school. Like Venison, oh my goodness. Hangman upside down. Three of Cup upside down. Eight of Cup upright. It's actually more towards like the card, because the thing is, right, if the card, one of them is the death card for the earlier top one, right, for the demon card, it's not the, if it's a death card, then I would know it's already dead already. But it's the demon card. Demon card is more towards like it no longer suffering in a way. So at least that's how I look at it though. Now for your seminar, how am I going to supposed to say this now? It's in a way a good way, but at the same time it's also kind of like you have to understand that even though if it's a good one, you should not take it as granted thing. Okay, so okay, basically the hangman upside down, I know a lot of people will be saying like hangman is basically suffering, all these things, right? Yes, you still going to be suffering in a way, because even it's outright, you still kind of like, in a way you are still kind of like tied down to your study. That one is still hanging you, but you need to accept the moment of like it is a moment that you need to you need to understand. I don't want you to go and say that, hey, just because that you seems to be relaxing, don't take it that, oh, it's relaxing study. Okay, the bottom one, right now, the three card, the hangman upside down, the three of cup upside down, and eight of cup upright, in a way it's mean that okay, if I'm gonna be honest in the way, is that it mean to me that if I'm kind of like being the so-called weird, blunt, old me that I end out of the reading, I will be saying that, are you suffering? If you're suffering, don't end your freaking study right now, because that's what it mean to me. But right now, it seems to me that you may be suffering due to the study, but even if you are going to have a very good one, that you want to leave the study along the line, that you want to bring it an end to it in a way. But to me, from how I look at it, on one and out, the main point for, because today is the blood moon eclipse, so it seems to me that you need to understand that the study is making you suffer, yes, but at the same time you need to take it as an achievement, take it as a mean for your study, and then understand that once you're able to finish the study properly, you'll be able to get what you want. At least that is how I look at it though. But all honest me will be kind of like saying it in a very just not the old me will say it, but the current me is more towards like, Vanessa, you need to not gone crazy and not crash out, because the thing is that the study is mean that, because if it's an old me, I would just say that you are suffering and you don't like it and you want to bring an end to it and just don't study at all, that kind of reading. But it seems to me that you may be suffering, but it is a moment that you need to go through. If you want to go through it and make sure to have a good future, you need to go face it though. So from how I look at it, you really need to try your best. Don't need to say that you must get the best, like top 1 student or whatever along the line. At the very least, graduate, finish your study, and then move on. At least that will be the best way to go though. Because I don't want you to suffer from it, and at the very least, it just seems to me that this is so far the good one at the moment. And since like Sharou-san, you mentioned the art is nice, right? Earlier, I think I shared with Pale-san before. I think I will share it here as well, since the both of you are here as well. Let me share. Let me share this one first. I'm gonna share this one with you guys, because this one is an official, yes, here's the best card. Hola. Everyone, this is how you guys now will look like. This is how you guys will be look like from now on. Yeah, you guys have to thank Kathleen's son in a way though, okay? Like Kathleen's son managed to draw this for you guys, okay? You're screaming internally, I can't stop you. And then it's like at the same time we also kind of like have other artwork. So this is kind of like the other one. It's a water droplet, but we kind of like use a slime as a way to draw it, the Sharou-san. So this is like the high one. We still kind of like still on the design wise, but so far she really been drawing you guys very nicely though, including this one. It's like when you guys want to smirk me in a way, it's like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have a nightmare. I know Kathleen's son draw it for me. Kathleen's son is the one who draw it for me, because I did commission her for the drawing, okay guys. So if anything else, right, if you like only for people who want to support me by membership, then you guys can use it in a way. But at the moment, the only design that I can only put out in the membership at the moment is only this one. Don't need to worry. I also wear those kind of glasses. If you guys need proof, if you guys need proof, this is my glasses. in a way, this is my glasses. It's like you guys can see. It's like almost mine. So in a way, the design was kind of like somewhere there. But so far, this is like the only one. If anyone join the membership, it would be kind of like this is the only one that can be used for now in the emoji. But kind clearly they know the amount is kind of like set already, so I can't do anything about that. And at the very least, like if anything else, at least you guys can use this in a way, and then we'll be like, yeah, this is gonna be. Yeah, the funny thing is, right? Initially, we wonder like how are we gonna do the lay and whatsoever, and Kenneth actually gave me the idea of like, hey, what if we say that the lay is actually what, because if you guys are water droplet, water can form in any form. So he's like, how about let's use the leg as like a hand. So it's like basically you guys can walk on the two leg, but use it as a walking moment. But if you guys want to use to touch your eyes or touch or say hi along the line, it will be kind of like look nice in a way though. So far I have to say that Kali-san been drawing very, very, very nicely. And once it had been out, at least it will be you guys can see it for in the future one. But for now, I would definitely say like Kali-san draw that very, very nicely though. And it's fine. I mean, like, even for me who studied animation and manga, I don't really draw that good as well. Even I myself can't draw that much in a way, but if I have to say drawing, I think I might want to do the drawing again in maybe Sunday kana. Maybe Sunday I can do the drawing again. Like I did kind of like showcase like drawing the eyes on Discord, and I was like wondering like it has been such a long time since I do drawing again. So if I can do the set up again for drawing, I'm probably gonna do a drawing again just for the sake of like testing how my skill on drawing eyes been in a way though. Because I haven't done drawing for quite a while though. And what is it, Vanessa-san? Draw at Sunday to draw Sunday. If you don't mind my drawing, that is. If you don't mind my drawing, that is okay. I can do. I don't mind doing the drawing though. I mean, like at least I can use it as a reference as a drawing moment. But I don't want you guys to come and say that, hey, my Sunday don't look like Sunday from Hokkaido Star Rail, okay? I mean, technically I can do the drawing though. If you don't mind me, like, kind of like, a bit of like, use it as a reference. I wouldn't say like drawing based on what I can draw. It's more towards like, the way I've used the drawing as a reference. As not saying like copy a one-to-one, more towards like, reference in a way though, so... this coming Sunday would be... Yeah, this coming Sunday, but the timing would be... This timing, I think it would be on your side would be... On the 8th? On the 8th of March, I guess. Because I haven't do drawing for quite a long while though, so I don't mind redrawing though. And I mean like technically right, I kind of okay, I think I can share this. Since I'm opening up the book. I got the book already. I can show you guys. Okay. So the one thing is right, I can share is that this one was actually my textbook back when I was learning animation and manga. And the one thing is right, it really is a manga, everything in Japanese, all this thing, but it's also like it may seem like a manga. Like you guys can see it's like it looked like a manga, but it's actually teaching me on how to draw a character. So it actually explaining like how do I draw a character face like that. And it really does showcase like the explanation on how to draw it. So it's like, example, like why is it that some character eyes look weird or whatever? It's actually more towards like I have to do the drawing. Like I have to do the drawing. Continue reading. I did your reading just now already though. And unless you got any other reading though. So if anything else, right, it's actually more towards like this one will teach me on how to draw the expression. So like expression, this one is like the face, actual moment, or even kind of like how to know what is the facial expression, the age, the hair, whatever, and even like the position, the one that got the mean, all these things, right? This one was actually kind of like being taught on how to drawing back when I was learning in Japan though. So I was actually learning this back then, especially like the face expression. Like if you guys wondering, like this is the actual right way to draw the face. Look out, that kind of moment, and I was actually learning on how to draw the facial expression when back then though, and this one is actually not just only draw the face, actually more towards like the position. Like you can see like the facial expression, you need to draw the right one. The head, like you cannot move the mouth too out. You need to have the mouth move down along the line. Like you have to understand the positioning. You cannot draw, and you also cannot be too low. If not, it will be like kind of like weird in a way, and yeah, it's not easy though. Especially more towards like I have to learn this kind of thing. I have to learn this kind of thing, and also it's kind of like even shape like this can draw a face. You guys can see it's like basically shape, using a shape to draw a face, or even a moment of like hair. Like even hair is also a moment. Like hair is also not is included on how to draw. It kind of like how to draw a hair. All these things is like it did taught. Like it really did taught me a lot of like what kind of hair do we use as a reference, what kind of like animation or manga tend to go for. But the easy one tend to be this one, and then this one is more like people want to showcase. Oh, I want to show off my artwork along the line, and I have to learn both in a way though. So there's a lot of moment that I learned back then, and the eyes one is also kind of like also being taught in a way. So even eyes, I also have to learn how to draw properly. Or even like facial expression also kind of like showcase along the line. So the like facial expression you guys can see is like a different kind of artwork along. So yeah, this one is actually a very. The funny thing is, right, this one is actually done by a very popular manga artist along the line, and someone called me. Hello? Is it Okay. Right now it's actually 9:30 p.m. Just now there was a blood moon eclipse as well. But the one thing is that just now my uncle called me. That's why I have to go and pick it up and then bring it to my parents to chat along the line just now. So yeah, just about yeah. Go ahead, take out the phone back first. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. But yeah, this one is also this one I will definitely say is this book. Just now, sorry, I kind of like got gone for a while. Another book that I actually have is also by the same manga artist. In case anyone wondering, this is another manga that is how to draw a character. So in case anyone wondering, right, like just because we know how to draw the head but we don't know how to draw the body, so I welcome back this one. So the thing is, right, this one teach me on how to draw a body. I think Vanessa might probably like this kind more because it will teach on how to draw a body. And even though it's kind of like drawing the proportion, right? It's like we drawing the proportion, we don't need to say that, hey, we don't draw the shape. It's actually drawing the proportion out, then draw the muscle in. And then if people want to draw crazy stock body, it's like, you guys can see like, this is a moment you get to see in a manga. So they even teach on how to draw a muscle, especially like you guys can see like how to draw the muscle, all these things. So I actually kind of like really curious about this one back then, and as I learned how to draw, it even showcased like using skeleton as a mean to do the drawing though. So I learned quite a lot. Especially I think this is more towards like adding clothes. All these things is like kind of like teaching me how to draw. So at the very least, you guys now know what kind of textbook I've been using back in Japan on how to draw a character. Especially also it's like not, it wasn't say like hard or whatever. It was more towards like main problem for me at the time was because kind of like I have to listen everything in Japanese. I have to learn on how to draw whatsoever along the line. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do a bit of drawing on Sunday though. At this timing would be around, yeah, at least at this timing on Sunday. It will be much better. Hey, even one class you still need to make sure that you need to bear with it, okay? And I don't think for Vanessa I don't think you're reading anymore, right? Money wise I cannot do the reading. That one is not best not for now. Especially more towards like, yes, if I have to at least highlight that, okay. Like I can do money reading, but it will be chaotic and you'll end up being bad in a way because I might end up saying not the right thing. So that one best not to though. If you're asking about the kachala, that one already earlier I did already though. Unless I miss out on something else. You have few more. You want to read about your past? Oh. Well, I can't be exactly sure what kind of memory that is affecting you. Okay. Yes, I know. No wonder the freaking power cut ups calling me about your case. Yeah, I need to suffer one more time. Oh, I don't draw the tower card for you. It will be a problem in so many ways. Especially more towards like equate reading is more towards like letting things go. I don't want you guys to have a bad reading or good reading. It's more towards like whatever thing is best not to let it affect you in a way though. Shiro-san, don't tell a 18 years old to go and smoke. You have no idea how I trying to stop her from smoking. Piff piff. Especially also, I actually in real life I have seen some people smoking even at the age of 14 or 15, so I can't really say too much on that end other than me being a so-called responsible adult doing my job as an influencer, teaching people to say the right thing, do the right thing, not like so people say that can't say the hour, can't say this, can't say that, can't do this, can't do that, and not there are one whole group of people doing it either way. I can't stop you from smoking. That is my behavior. Okay. It's fine. I mean, like at least now you know, and we also know that Vanessa is also kind of like under self-control after my teaching. This is not a cut, in case anyone wondering. Okay. First thing first, this one is calling you out, and for some reason, it's right here calling me out. 2 cards. And 4 cards. Huh. Sharou. The World Cup upside down. Okay. A 7-card reading card. The King of Cup. And the Queen of Cup upside down with the Hierophant upside down. And oh my. Three of Pendulum, Knight of Ward, the Star, and the Six of Swords. Oh. This is quite a strong reading, I have to say. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll start from the very top because it might and you need to be very careful. Is that, well, technically it is referring that you are living in a way that is affecting you. You tend to be like basically having things that is saying like, is it really affecting you, or is it something that is bad along the line? It's like you want to have a good memory, you don't want to have bad things along the line. Is all those things affecting you in a way, and you kind of like, being the King of Cup, you're kind of like holding on to the cup, and it's kind of like you are surrounded, because below is actually all the water. So in a way, it's like you are surrounded by it, and you are kind of having the thing affecting you. And even if you kind of try to have a Queen of Cup as a mean to control your memory, you aren't controlling it, which is the reason why it's upside down. And thus, you want to have a control over your memory, which is kind of like something that is understandable based on what you want. Now, the one thing that is kind of like interestingly that you are working towards it based on Three of Pentacles, it's more towards like discussing, thinking about it. It's like you want it to go in a way that you want, and I can see based on what you're going with. But at the same time, it's not affecting you negatively, especially when you got the Knight of Wands. It's more towards like you're thinking about it in a way that is it really affecting you in a way, because it's more towards like, yes, it might, the pendulum is basically explaining the weird stuff in your brain, and you're trying to fight against it because you don't want to have a thing that is affecting you in a negative way. And the funny thing is, right, the Star card, which is the card of hope, in this case, I have to say that this Star card is not a good card in a way, because it's actually affecting you in a negative way, because all the thing that is in your brain right now, right, is actually causing you confusion. Go and have a nice walk with your dog, Shiro-san. So the thing is, right, you need to make sure that it's not affecting you, because basically those memory in your brain is not really hope, it's more like confusion. It was causing you suffering. Thus, the Six of Swords. That's why you need to be like, I think it's more towards I need to give the advice for you in a way. Interestingly, this card, and for some reason, this card, these two cards is calling me out. Eight of Wands upside down, and Nine of Pentacles upright. Huh. Okay, the one thing is, right, Eight of Wands normally is the attacking card, but when it's upside down, it's trying to tell you that in the best way possible, don't fight against it. And again, like today is the eclipse moon reading, you have to let it go. In the most simple term, it's kind of like, I have to say it in the most simple way. I can't say like you must do this or you must do that. It's more towards like is something that is part of your life and you need to accept that being a thing, but you also need to bear not to attack it in a way, because it's kind of like something that will affect you and it's really affecting you, but you need to bear with it and think of way to use it to good use. From how I look at it though, because if you're able to do so, it will benefit you. But at the same time, if you try to make it a thing or try to be like, can I attack this or whatever, it's more like you need to face it. You need to accept that it's part of you and make good use of it. At least from how I look at it though. I think it's more towards like, even if the memory is not making you think properly, I don't think you want to let it be a thing though. Get confusion. Yeah, true. That is very, very true. At the very least, having the main character is not an easy task, okay? Yes, I know you say that, I won't say that you have to make it a thing. I have to at least highlight that. Is that you need to face it in a way that you can let it be a thing though. I can't really say is it a good thing or is it a bad thing. It's more towards like you need to bear with it. You need to face it. That's why it's like more towards like you need to make good use of it in a way though. And also, is that Zan-san? just to check. I don't think you need to worry on that end, Vanessa. It's more towards like, yeah, that's why you have to face it. Because the thing is, right, the State of Sword in here is indicating that you must face it. That's why earlier I mentioned that for today's reading, it's more towards like you need to, like bad reading, you have to face it though. But at the same time, the good thing is, right, it's more towards like you should make sure that even if you don't face it along the line, you have to make sure that you don't let it affect you in a negative way. It's more towards like, yeah, I know, it's more towards like you need to like you need to understand that it is affecting you in a way that you might want to make sure that how are you going to improve on it. Okay, so I think that would be the best way to say, especially, yeah, the advice that the card even say I was correct. The justice card to end it all. So basically it's more towards like you need to make sure that when you face all those things, right, I think it's more towards like when those negative memory affecting you, right, it's more towards like it may be also the reason why you can see ghosts. Because if you, let's say for example, you can see the spiritual thing here, there, everywhere, maybe you might want to make sure you need to stay strong in that sense. Make sure that you are able to not think too much of those things, and then accept that the memory in your mind, maybe it's just a play, it's just something that is out of nowhere, and it maybe like those kind of people, like those kind of things want to throw false information into your brain. Then all the more you need to fight against it. You need to stay strong, you need to stand strong, so that you will not be able to see those things again. So even if you see more than one, it's fine. I mean, like, I myself can't really say too much on my end, but it's really one of the things that sometimes you need to stay strong in the way that you do not want it to affect you in a negative way, and so that you can able to stand over and have everything benefit in the way though. So maybe you can try see whether you can think of way to make sure that the memory that is affecting you, you may want to have a clarification on that end. See whether you can like in the way, don't let it affect you in a way that is causing you, and you need to stay strong against it, against the memory that is affecting you. Whether is it true or not, don't let it be a thing. And then after that, see how it goes. Because hopefully, I can't really say like is it a good thing or is it a bad thing. It's more towards like I can't really say will it affect you in a good way or negative way. It's more towards like you want to make sure that the things that you see, even if it's true or false, okay, I have to at least highlight that. If it's a true or false moment, you might want to make sure that hey, you forget about it, you move on and do other thing. Use a distraction, like maybe like say, hey, maybe like Vanessa, help me go and check on how to build sparkle along the line, on how to build sparkle along the line, how to use her along the line, and then maybe I will be like, hey, maybe you can use that as a moment to distract yourself, and then you don't think, and then maybe you forget about those memory good or real or not along the line though. I think that would be the best way to go. So I think that would be the best way for you. Okay, can I just check? So I actually use the one that increase speed, or so I use the one that increase crit damage? The one that Sunday is using. Because I kind of confused in a way though. That's why I was asking you. The one that increased crit damage, right? Okay, then I shall use that then. Because if Sunday really I got quite a, I think I got quite the amount. 150 200 crit damage. Eh? Crit damage 200? Wait, ちょっと待って. You mean to tell me that she is... Wait, ちょっと待って. You're telling me that Sparkle actually used crit damage more? Is she similar to Sunday in a way? So Sparkle build need the crit damage stat to strengthen the buff she gives to the main DPS and allowed to boost. Oh, so in a way she is similar to Sunday. So she was the previous Sunday. Damn, I never even get Sparkle back then though. Like Sparkle, one of the characters that I don't have back then until recently when they give us for free though. So she was the previous Sunday. And I've been using Sunday quite a lot. So how much? Hello. There's no point on like knowing how much for a reading. There is no such thing. For me, it's like you want a reading, you get a reading. Just need to tell me what kind of thing that. But then again, I have to at least highlight that because today is Eclipse Moon because today is eclipse moon reading, so it's more towards like, even though the moon apparently passed on my end, I still want it to be fair. I never charge people for a reading though. But if I do charge out, it will be kind of like on the maybe like membership in a way. a few month membership will be the way to go. I can use Bronya ILD. Okay, then I guess on I guess I'll have to use the build carefully then. Tomorrow is Hokkai. Tomorrow is Xenozone Zero. Thursday is Hokkai Star Rail. Yeah, I think on the day I'll be playing it. No. It's just that normally if people want a reading with payment, then I will charge it. But normally I don't. But the thing is, right, the charging is kind of like I really kind of like just do it for the reading though. Even super chat is kind of like, I would definitely say like depends on what kind of reading you want though. Because if I do charge people in real life, I think I'll be fair with you guys. But then I do charge in US dollar. Okay, I have to say in US dollar. I would definitely say I would charge around 50 for just a simple reading. Advanced reading I will charge up to 100. But for now I never do charging at all though. I normally kind of like say that, hey, you guys just give me $1, $2. I still do the reading along the line though. That's why I never really kind of like go along with that line, because it's more towards like my reading, even though accurate, is kind of like a moment I don't want it to be charging people over it. Even if my reading is very, very strong in a way. But the thing is, right, today reading is more towards like eclipse reading, right? It's more on like good reading, you want to be cautious of it. Then bad reading, you have to face it, but you also need to learn to let it be gone along the line though. Son, I never even charged you. And yet you expect so-called a red envelope from me. you still there. You still get hee the nanayo. But at the very least, I mean like it's kind of like a moment that you guys have to understand that even for me when doing card reading, right, I have to be very, very cautious at times too. Especially also like right now it's very hard for me to see especially the moon just now, right, was actually kind of like very, very bright in a way. I was wondering like, is it because of the lunar eclipse moment? But at the same time it was more towards like okay. Yeah, but to start a VTuber career and on your own or whichever company. No, that is more than enough already. Okay, that is still good enough. Okay, so you want to ask about what kind of career you want to start your own VTuber career, and so you'll be a company one or on your own one, and whatever reading do come out. I mean like that is still quite a lot though. I still gonna accept it. Okay, so I'm gonna do an advanced reading. Since you're paying for it, I have to do the most advanced one. Yep. Hey, even so, it's kind of like a moment that you're paying for it in a way, you know. It'll be the advanced one, since you're paying for it. Especially also I have to do normal, the triple clearing in a way, just to make sure that once I do the clearing, it will be more towards like, making sure because you're paying for it, I'm gonna make sure you're getting it. Hey, your daughter is enjoying. Like, your daughter should be enjoying her nice, delicious dinner with you. I can only hope that you're finally enjoying a nice, delicious moment. It's pretty much also like you guys don't get to see me doing advanced reading all the time though. Especially more so that I don't really do it. Especially more towards that I have to make sure that you're still hungry. Yeah, I mean, like, if you don't have that much, you might want to be careful on that end though, because it's more towards that you need to be very careful on that end though. Okay. Welcome to... Okay. We shall do the advanced reading for you, Gakita. Gotta make sure that your reading is gonna be a good one. I have to put all my heart into this now. You already said it based on the super chat, and I based on that reading already. And it would seems to me the deck is ready. I mean, like, it's also getting paid, so in a way, I am gonna do the reading. And this card is already up here already. And this card was calling me out. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards at the same time. One card. This Pacific card. And this Pacific card. Okay. It really does want me to do the full 5 card reading. So normally it will be okay. Main focus of the question. 4 of what? A 4 of choice upside down. Followed by the Knight of Cups outright. The Page of Wands outright. Death card outright. Okay, that is a bit concerning. 8 of Swords outright. And the Wheel of Fortune outright. Wow, damn. Even this whole set is really strong. Oh, interesting. Now, the 3 card. 6 of Swords upside down. The Magician card upside down. And the Hermit card upside down? Okay, this is quite... Well, damn, you're reading! I have to say it's a very strong one today though. For your... Like, of all till now, today's reading is very, very strong for Locator-san. Okay. If I have to use my form of reading, the one thing is, right, it's actually indicating like I know some people will be saying like death card as well as eight of sword is kind of like not in a good way, but when in a sense, when you got the wheel of fortune as well as the page of war and the knight of cup in the same way, it will also kind of like mean that it's not really saying like it's bad in a way though. Okay, I have to at least let's start out with the question was basically, is it good to be a corporate VTuber or is it okay to be an indie VTuber? And based on the reading so far, it seems to me that you're confused about what is the way to go. It's more towards like, do you want to be a corporate VTuber or do you want to be a so-called under any or do you want to be alone in the indie VTuber or do you want to be a corporate VTuber? That question is kind of like something that you need to be very cautious because it's actually telling you one thing. It's not going to be an easy path. I have to at least highlight that. We have to at least highlight that. It's more towards like out of the maybe the 3 VTuber agency that you have in your mind. One of them is going to be a challenging one. One of them is going to bring you death or more issue, and one of them is going to give you relaxation. So you want to make sure that you want to get in. If you do get in to that sense, it's not going to be an easy one along the line. But if you do end up not selecting the worst VTuber agency, that will be the best one. But even if you find a good one, you still need to go with the things that you need to do. You still need to go with the way that you want to go with. But at the same time, you also need to understand the company. If the company want you to issue with, right, you need to understand that if you work with the company will give you restriction, but they also give you a horse in a way. So in a way, it's like one of the company will, like, if you accept death, you will be the death. But if you accept the right company, the company will, you have to bear with the things. You need to go with it and understand that when you do end up being with them, you're gonna be accepting it. Because this whole thing is like, it's basically a whole wheel of fate in a way. Now, the one thing is that you have to be understandable is that pay of what is that you are doing it alone. In a way, you are going to make sure that you need to understand that you are going to be walking through the desert, because if anything else, right, this card itself is actually a character walking through a desert. So in a way, you have to understand that one thing. Do you want to go through you want to go through other people's suffering, or will you prefer, or you might be the one leading to death, or you might want to go on the one that can lead you to the water or the fruit the right way, or do you want to go through on the suffering but you won't be in a bad way? But regardless, it is not going to be an easy path, especially when it's indication of 8 of Swords. So in a way, it's indicating that you need to be very, very cautious that even if the pain or all the suffering you go through, it is part of your wheel of fortune. You need to understand that you need to understand that all these things is something that you need to bear with. It is something that you need to accept and make sure that it is something that you can able to go through. If that is something that you can able to go with, all the path that you go with will be something that it is that can be a good thing, especially more so that Six of Swords upside down, the Magician upside down, and the Hermit upside down is indicating that it is not going to be an easy path at all. But in regards, should you be a VTuber, all these things, it is, from what I can see, it is something that you can accept it. Because you are basically going to get the reward in a way from what you want in your mind. The only issue I still feel like between corporate VTuber or indie VTuber, right? That one you need to think carefully. That is the only thing you need to face it yourself. I can't really give you the answer, even though I know the answer. But it's more towards like I can't really say like is it a good thing or is it a bad thing. It's more towards like you need to face it yourself, but you already kind of understand because it's already giving you the whole thing already, and you already know what you need to be. You need to be careful about one of them. The one you need to be very, very careful. The other, you can face it, and then it'll be a good path. But you need to understand that all the path you end up suffering, and it is a wheel of fortune. But yeah, in a way, I mean, this is kind of like something in a way though. The one thing I even got, I still have to admit that even I was kind of like shocked that I actually did correctly on Canada graduation in a way though. Like like I was actually looking through Mio-san. Like I still remember when I was doing Mio-san of Holo Live reading at the time, and at the time she said that the reading was kind of like she ended, but I was like, that's strange. The way I look at it, it was like I feel like Kanata was going to graduate, and not that it was actually the graduation part though. So that was the one thing that I was kind of afraid. But the one thing I have to also highlight, because you got the Hermit card and the Magician card, right? This one I need you to be very cautious in a way, because the Hermit card is technically known as the person who is alone in a way. So for Kato-san, I need you to be very cautious. Like even if the path you have to go through it, you need to stay strong. Because the thing is, right, Magician card upside down got good and bad. And well, the bad one, you have to face it, that you need to go through like the being a VTuber, all these things is not an easy path. But from how I look at it, right, it seems to me that if you're able to stay strong for it and go through this path, you will end up having the reward that you are seeking out though. So overall, from how I look at it, right, I think so far this is the best one for me in a way, even if that death card do appear though. So a lot of people always have the misconception that bad card reading is always not in a good way, but so far in a way, as I mentioned at the start, if it is a bad reading, you need to be facing it though. So I don't know, but the one thing I feel like for Rolokato-san is that I think your reading is pretty strong in a way, but you need to make sure that it is a very, very harsh path that you need to go with. And when I look at it, right, I feel like you will have a very good moment if you are able to go through with the right path. So you need to be very cautious on that. Yeah, it's always part of every path. And what is the funny thing when it's on? And also, Katlin-san, I know you are an auntie now, but I'm an old man. Okay, if you say you're auntie or not, I'm an old man though. I mean, like in terms of VTubing, right? You tell everyone that, oh, I'm 37 years old. It's like, oh yeah, old man. I'm an old single man. can't do anything about that. Okay. You went to a restaurant to get a free spoon. So for Lulukato-san, I think you might want to remember this one. So far your reading is so far pretty strong, and you need to face it properly. And once you're able to face it, you are able to have a good, you may get what you seek. So I think so far I would say it's a good one though. And also, just in case I'm wondering, normally when I do the reading and finish it, right, I'll have to tap this twice to clean it in a way. So it's kind of like clarify it. And you got another free spoon. Are you an Alakazam? In Pokemon, Alakazam got 2 spoons. Your Oshi left last year and made you really wish to do the move. Harsh turning point. Yeah, you have to understand that. Okay, Oshi love, that one is kind of like, even I myself have a few Oshi that I can't do anything with. And because Benny-san or Raphael-san, normally I call her Benny-san. Raphael-san was talking about the free spoon, so I was like wondering like, if she got one full spoon and then got another spoon and then now she got 2 spoons, does that make the magician Alakazam? The funny thing is, right, even I myself don't really have money to buy lens though. I never really go and charge people money or all these things. Dude, $60 a year? Oh, okay. Hey, but at the very least, you got a good thing though. At least you got a place to stay. You aren't afraid of cockroach or rat. Like, dude, if I stay in that kind of place, I feel at least like if I stay in that kind of place, I'll be screaming. Because I mean, like rat, I can kind of feed them, but the cockroach one, I'll be screaming though. Because I don't really want, I kind of like, oh my god, my brain. Okay, I mean, I already say this a lot of time. I really have like, number one, having a like I already have cockroach being my like things that I dislike, and then I also yes, I do have schedule. Let me pull out the schedule in a way. This is the schedule for this week. So in a way, it's like basically tomorrow Zone 0. Then on Thursday, the timing you guys want to take note is like EST, GMT, JST. So I kind of tend to use all this timing. And where I'm from, I'm actually from Singapore right now. When I stopped VTubing, I was in Japan. So normally but because I start as a streamer back when I was in Japan, when the funny thing is, right, I still remember the moment when I started as a faceless streamer, as a Japanese person, and I was like, people was like wondering like, I don't speak like Japanese. Yeah, because I'm not Japanese. Thank you. The thing is, right, I staying in Japan for 6 years is really kind of like a thing that I wasn't expecting though. Like 6 years, and then my visa kind of like got expired and I have to return. So I kind of like became a moment of like able to speak Japanese, able to know Japanese. But the only funny thing is, right now I kind of like using Japanese not as a mean of communication. It was more towards like me using Japanese to watch anime and read mangas. Yeah, the only thing is, right, even I myself have to work part-time at time just to earn a little bit of money along the line. Like the funny thing is, right, for the Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year, depending on how you guys call it, like I actually went out, like if you guys notice that I was kind of like busy and they post a lot of random chat to talk about all the topic, right? Like the funny thing is that I didn't have the time to do those kind of thing. It's because in real life I was out to do some video taking for someone along the line or helping people with stuff just to earn a little bit of pocket money along the line, and kind of like it was a moment of like I earning a little bit of money just to make sure that I can able to pay for my the gacha for the dailies and what's not along the line though. That was the original girl. I'm sure you can do it because the thing is, right, if I went to Japan to learn how to draw animation and manga, like legit I went to a school in Japan speaking in Japanese. 本当に日本語ですよ。私もし日本語がわからなければ、私今はどうすればいいかわかんないですよ。So basically it's like I learning how to do animation, how to do manga, and because everything was stuck in Japanese, I have to speak in Japanese. There was a few times that I have to like ask my friend on what the sensei was talking about, what is the thing I have to learn about, and
the drawing part was one thing, because the thing is, right, the manga sensei was actually able to teach me slowly, but when I learned voice acting, the one I have to, not in my school, I have to go out of the school to a anime studio near my place at the time. It was kind of like those outsourced anime studio that I ended up paying a little bit for my part-time, and I actually learned how to do voice acting in Japan. And it wasn't easy though. And if people actually ask like, hey, if is the hardship on trying to be a voice actor in Japan not easy? Yes, it's not easy, because it's more towards like even pro are fighting for a simple role. And that is kind of like something that a lot of people tend to have a misconception, especially like when I was learning. And even though I was asked to do a voice, right? You gotta imagine like when I was asked to do a voice, I can't say which anime, okay? I can only say at most is that they asked me to voice a random extra old man voice, and I was like, "Hi, wakarimashita. すみません。ラーメンお願いします." Like I have to say in that form, I was like, oh, what the heck? You pass out all the time. You better be careful on that, okay, Shiro-san. I mean, smoking is one thing, but you better take care of yourself, okay? If you didn't answer, you probably got sick. Don't you fall asleep, okay? You have to understand one thing. Especially like I learned voice acting back in Japan from quite a few pros, so it wasn't an easy path though. I have to at least highlight that. Dude, I mean, Shiro-san, I roast that guy in the random chat before. I don't want to roast him again though. Like, in terms of like voice acting, like the reason why I became a faceless streamer at the time was because of like I was trying to use streaming as a mean of trying to see whether is my voice able to attract people, especially more so like I was like speaking in Japanese at the time, so I was like trying to see whether is my voice able to attract people at that time. And it wasn't easy because it was actually more towards like I'm trying to learn on how to am I able to speak to Japanese people, or is the way I speak in Japanese correct. And the funny thing is, right, if I speak in this tune right now, like, hi, konnichiwa, people will say that I sound like a foreigner or a young man. And I'm like, wow, I'm 13 years old and you guys calling me a young man. Thank you. 本当にありがとうございます. And then I even have to... and the funny thing is, right, when I was learning on the so-called, they actually gave me advice on reading on a very low tone. I was told to speak like nobody speak in Japanese like hi konnichiwa. They say that I shouldn't speak like this. They say that I should speak in this way, okay? Hi konnichiwa. 私はAme Gakita です。よろしくお願いします. Like they say that I must speak in this form. It's like they say that guys must speak in low weird voice, and I was like, なんで? Am I supposed to go to drink with your boss, my boss on party? Is it monetary? A huge yes, with a little bit of no, depending on your situation. So, okay, to answer that question, right, this one is kind of like based on my experience working part-time, is that there are times when the boss even come to my house to drink. Like legit, my boss really come to my house just to drink, okay? The funny thing is, right, it's not really saying like, is it compulsory or not? I know, yeah, the reading is still here if you need to. So the thing is, right, when it comes to drinking in Japan, it's actually more towards like, they want to have a bonding period. They just want to like say that, hey, we just want to bond with each other. So there are times when co-workers want to drink together, or even like boss want to drink together, or if the boss and everyone to drink together. And the reason for the drinking in a way is that the boss or the co-worker or your friend or whatever, you guys can understand one thing is that when they drink a lot. And it's crazy a lot though. Like for example, if you got one like a carton of 24 beer, okay, like example you got a carton of 24 beer. For me, I drink at most 1 or 2 cans, but my friend or my coworker, they all freaking drink 10 or 11 of it. And it's crazy in a way though. Like I was actually kind of like surprised that they don't mind drinking that much, and they say that hey, you must drink in one go. And the funny thing is, right, I actually learned how to drink alcohol in one shot, like in one mouthful, and I was like, oh my holy god, that is crazy. But I mean, it's kind of like they say that is to enjoy every bit or to enjoy it as much as you can. And the funny thing is, right, the kanpai moment is like normally in order to it's best that you eat first, then you drink. But if you drink first without eating, you're gonna get drunk easily. Yes, I drink it once. it took a lot out of me in a way. Okay, it took a lot out of me. I mean, like, in a way. Okay, let me show you guys. I drink plain water. Okay, I don't want to get the stroke again. Okay, I'll try to drink a plain water. Just to showcase, okay? Plain water, 500 ml, okay? I'm gonna drink this in one shot. I'm not gonna do ASMR, but I'm gonna drink this in one shot, and then you guys can know that did I really freaking drink a beer in one go, okay? She does, I know, but right now I'm being banned from drinking alcohol for now, okay? I'm more like I have to admit, okay, one thing is that I don't need to worry. I'm gonna just drink it in one shot. You guys just listen to the sound, and then you can understand like why is it a moment of like why was it crazy that I was able to drink in one shot. So you guys just answer that one thing. No more. Yeah, it's basically in one shot. So that was the one thing that I can admit, okay, is that did I drink really alcohol last time in one shot? Yes. That was like, you guys hear that just now. I just drink a 0.5 ml water in one shot. So if you guys imagine, like rotate that as for alcohol with a bit of the sparkling moment, all these things. That one is like you guys can will hear the burp, all these things. Hey, dude, I don't remind me of one carton or 1 liter though. I don't want to remember that. Because I did so in Japan before. No, I cannot do tarot card on myself. It's something that is banned on myself though. I did it before last year. It did not end up well. Every time I try to do a reading, it always never end up well for me. So like, as much as I love the reading in a way, I can't do so. Like the thing is, right, I feel like it's actually kind of like a moment of why I can't do reading for myself. Actually, right, is that because I can do accurate reading, and even if I know what happened during to me, I will always get out the short end of the stick, and I will end up having in a dead situation, because it will end up badly for me. Okay, so it was kind of like something that I can do reading for others. Yeah, sure. Nemo-san, they know that today is the eclipse the eclipse moon reading, so it's more towards like you need to be very careful of what kind of reading you want in your mind. But at the same time, it's like bad reading, it's more towards like you have to face it, and good reading, you need to be very cautious of it in a way. So At least that is the main focus. So if you're able to let that go, able to do so. But I can't do tarot card myself. That's the thing. It's kind of sad though. I mean, it's really one of the things that sometimes I really wonder, like, can I do tarot card myself? Will I enter Holo Life? I mean Holo Star along the line? Like, money and your job. Okay. So I'm going to do the reading for Nemu-san. To in regards on your money. Interestingly, this card really calling it host that I need to be careful about. So shuffle this in first. Put this in here. Nemu-san is more towards on drawing. So it's more towards like she need to know like will the money be good, and at the same time it's more towards like I feel like you need to be very careful on many ends though. So okay. In regards, if despite knowing that I will still do the reading in a way. Watching radar. Oh damn. Sharou-san, if that is the case, I think I need to get Neji-san to talk to you on that end. Because Neji-san is another one, but is going to hopefully work in an airport as well though. She's working in, like she's not starting on aerodynamic or whatever the thing is, and most of the time it's very possible that she's not going to work as those kind of like engineer or whatever thing in a way. So like I feel like I need to get Neji-san to speak to you as to like, even if they say like oh whatsoever, I'm gonna assume that hey like maybe learning from experienced people. Your boss was VTuber. Hey, at least you also watch a VTuber with me. Okay, for Nemu-san is ready, and interestingly, this will calling you out. Huh. As well as and also another reason why I don't drink and watch out is that if you guys can see it, right? The reason if you guys can see the it's like I'm sweating in one shot. The issue on my body is that if you guys can see I think you guys can see the freshness, right? Yeah, I'm actually sweating when I drink a lot in one shot. So that's the issue on my hand. Okay. Okay. Hey, Pilsa, at least you at least I yes, my name may be called Rain, but don't call me the Rain Man for now, for goodness sake. Okay, for your reading. Ah. Oh. Ah. Interesting. Oh my god. This is actually a very strong reading as well. Yeah, the Niji-sanji one, I kind of like hear about it. Okay. This one, okay, Nemu-san, I need you to understand one thing. Even when it's a good reading, I need you to make sure that you still need to be cautious of it. Okay? I still need you to be very, very cautious in the way. Okay, so for Nemu-san, the one thing is that you got 9 of Cups outright, the Sun card outright, the Fool card upside down, the 10 of upside down, and the Chalet outright. The interestingly, right, is that from what I'm looking at, right, technically it is a path. Okay, basically you're asking about the money and all these things, right? It's kind of interestingly to me that you're moving in a good way. It's telling me that you're moving in a good way, and that you are you are holding on to something that is making you suffer. It's kind of interesting in a way, because I have to read from the backward in a way. Is that in regards to, because the job and your money is kind of linked in a way. It's more towards like your job, you're moving it smoothly, you're moving it in a good way, but you are actually holding on to something that is making you suffer, and thus the full cut. The full cut, right? Outright down, outright can be bad or good. Upside down can also bad or good. But in this case, it's more towards like you are wondering about, as well. It's like kind of like you gotta understand one thing. The full cut can also mean the cut of beginning. So in a way, in this whole case, right, it seems to me that you are thinking about all these things over. You are thinking of like, you are trying to go through all these things, but you are overthinking yourself as well as giving yourself stress over this kind of thing, and you need to hold strong for it. You need to stay strong, because the thing is, right, if you are able to go through all these things, you will get to see the sun. The sun card, well, it is a strong and good card. You need to be very cautious. As I mentioned before, a sun can also be an issue, because a sun too hot can also burn you. Yes, that's why it's like you need to make sure you need to stay strong. In this case, the sun is actually trying to indicate that you must stay strong. You need to bear with it. Because the thing is, right, I'm not sure whether your mom will still give you the issue, and in a way, you still need to play like a fool in a way though, in regards to anything your mom trying to throw at you, okay? So you need to again still stay the full card in a way, like maybe you need to stay strong on that sense, but you need to move on with it. Not trying to accept the thing in a bad way, but it's more towards like the sun is trying to say that you need to stay strong and move on together with the chalet in a way. So yeah, for Nemo sun drawing is really, really good though. So if you guys see the artwork, right, the PNG that you guys write, that is drawn by her. The face that you guys see me, the one that I'm holding onto the drink, right? This one, this is drawn by her. Her drawing is really, really good. Yeah, your drawing is really, really good. So I think it's more towards like you need to focus on the things you need to do. You need to focus on that. Because once you're able to focus on that, you'll get what you want. Yeah, Nemo-san is the one who drew that. Nemo Rain 9. She's the one who drew it though. No, it's fine. At least you get to see it. Like her drawing is really, really good. Yeah, at the same time, right, it's not wrong on that sense, especially more so, right, the full card is here. The full card, right, it's kind of like a beginning card. It can be good, it can be bad, depending on how you look at it. But at the same time, from how you look at it, is that you need to stay strong in a sense, especially when you got the sun card indicating as such. So yes, I know that there are good people. There may be some people that may give you issue, and you want to stay strong in a way. You can give like based on your style, because the thing is that when it comes to drawing, there's never saying like whether is it easy or is it not. You still need to make sure that people are able to accept your way of drawing. Because the thing is, right, Japan, when I was learning drawing, right, despite me learning on how to draw like a Japanese person, I still have to end up learning to draw using my own style. Like interestingly, like earlier I showed you this manga just now, right? on how, like, the funny thing is, when I was learning the drawing on how to draw a card, all these things, is that initially they will say that, oh, you draw all these things, like they basically teaching us this, and they will tell us to draw what, like especially like if you're drawing for animation or manga, they will say that, okay, draw exactly the same. That was how we are taught. But when we are the one drawing it in a way, okay, unless you're drawing for animation, which I have to copy, it's a copy and paste moment. But if no, you can still end up saying it. But when we need to draw based on what we feel, we will need to draw on how we feel it though. So in a way, it's that in regards to how we draw, it was never a moment of like we need to draw based on what we have on hand or what we feel on hand though. It was more towards like you need to understand that you need to showcase that your drawing is using your own style, Nemo-san, and that if that is good enough and people are able to accept it, you are basically the sun that is able to bright out. If not, you'll be like a baby here that is kind of like indicating that you're gonna enjoy it, but you'll be suffering due to the hot sun along the line though. So in a way, drawing, yeah, I will still end up doing the drawing on Sunday. So at the very least, you guys will be able to know that I'll be doing the drawing on that end. But so far, the reading for Nemo-san, your drawing is your drawing I would definitely say is good, and as well as that your reading is also very, very strong as well though. Especially if you got the Sun card, the Full card, and the Shaded card, and also you got 9 of cup and 10 of what at the same time. So I would definitely say your reading is actually very, very strong in a sense though, Nemo-san. But I feel like the advice that I just gave you is something that you need to understand. And unless you got something else that you have in mind. Huh, the wood card. Just the moment you look at something with a high budget, you start to compare your art. No wonder this card come out. Okay, the word card itself, right? Interestingly, when the moment you type that, right, when it's upside down, it's actually more towards like you're having the wrong conception on that mindset, because it's actually correct to I think I should actually use a bit of my art experience to say this. It's normal to compare. It's actually pretty normal to compare, especially when I was actually taught by one of the fierce Japanese artist sensei in my life. When I have to say one thing is that when I draw the realistic drawing, okay, he was like, even when I said I'm not good at drawing, I still learning drawing, all these things, he was extremely fierce. Like he right off the bat, he said my drawing sucks, my drawing is bad, all these things. And the funny thing was that he said that you draw the wheel, like I want you to draw exactly the same. Like 同じのものを買って。Like I was like, はい、わかりました。Okay, I would like I need to draw exactly as what the picture want me to draw along the line. And it's really kind of like funny in a way that the way to stay strong, because that was an old man, he actually made me do the drawing in a fierce way, because it was like his way of teaching was kind of like, hey, I want you to do exactly as or what I want you to draw. And when I did that, 3 months later, because based on the drawing, after 3 months of learning how to draw the whole damn thing, it became a moment of like, I was kind of like shocked when he actually come up to me and praised me on my drawing. And I was like, legit shocked in the way. It was like a few months to do the drawing, and I was like, a few months of drawing, and he never give me good score until when I finally going to say that, hey, I'm reaching my final moment, and he actually say that my final artwork was the best one, and I actually got shocked in a way though. Like I
did my best on the last drawing last time, and I was actually legit shocked that he actually gave it such a good score in a way that I'm actually kind of like still remember when I saw the artwork at the time though. It was... where did I put the artwork again? I think I can show you guys. Okay, for Nemo Someone, your one reading is kind of like finished already. So I'm just going to pause your one here. Like, you guys have to understand, when I have to draw something like this, okay, like legit, they give me, oh, crumple this paper out along the line. I have to draw a realistic drawing of this. And I was like, how the hell am I gonna draw? And he actually was kind of like fierce on the drawing at that time, all these things. So in the past, I was like drawing a lot in a way that I was like kind of like legit have no idea what I'm supposed to draw, all these things. I'm not sure whether, I think I'm pretty sure I showed quite a few already, but I'm still gonna show it anyway. So you guys have to imagine like my drawing back then. Like from sketches. Like, you guys can see it's like the sketches I did back then. Legit, it was like using a lot of ways of me, all these things. It's like back then I was like learning to draw all these things. Even like drawing the body shape, all these things wasn't easy as well. Like a lot of the drawing was kind of like not easy in a way. But as time passed by, I had to learn how to draw something like this though. Like you guys can see, it's like the way I draw is like so much different as time passed by. Like from improvement from this way all the way that when I do the drawing is kind of like you guys can see. Like the eyes wasn't easy as well though. Like there are times I have to draw something like simple or I have to draw something like this. So it's really like legit one of the moment of me really wondering. And yeah, it's really kind of not easy in a way though. Especially more so like especially when I was taught to learn to copy Hatsune Miku in a way. Like I have to draw Hatsune Miku in a way how they want me to draw. So a lot of the thing is, right, drawing based on that wasn't easy, especially like drawing the building is like, oh, they want me to draw the school building. I have to draw the school building, I have to draw something like this. And I was like, the teacher, like, it wasn't easy. And the teacher said, oh, I only give you a B, not an A. And time passed by, the more I draw, like you guys can see the way I draw this thing, or even like drawing a cup along the line, like all the things that I have to draw, even like taking my shoes to draw, it wasn't easy. Drawing a cup, all these things, so it wasn't really an easy thing until when I think I draw one that actually gave a high score though. What was it again? I think you guys can see the artwork that I drew last time. It's like basically the outside of my classroom. I'm pretty sure there was one that he actually gave a high score for it though. Ah, found it. This was the one that he gave a high score. This one really legit took out a lot of my energy and mindset and the drawing in a way. I was like, what the hell am I drawing though? It's really one of the things that actually got me really like, I have to draw it like look like 3D in a sense, and it wasn't easy at the time though. So especially like this one was one of the one, and I think there was another one that he also gave a high score. Was it this one? This one not really. Yeah, you guys are like, I've been through all the hell on drawing. Like this one was also kind of like improvement because like you guys can see like this part here like wasn't that good and he was like penalizing me like non-stop. I was like, oh, yeah, dana. Like all the things that I've gone through in life, the piece of paper. Yeah, this one was also not easy in the way where he actually kind of like gave us. Found it. This was the one that he gave the highest score. I actually draw a man here for the like I was stressed. I was drawing it for fun, but he actually ended up giving this the highest score, and I was like, what the heck? So it was kind of funny in a way that the drawing back then when I was learning all those things, it really wasn't an easy task, and it really does showcase like when learning the drawing all these things, it's like it wasn't easy, and yeah, it wasn't easy, especially more like because I have to use my hand and I have to hold it like this and I have to draw it and basically draw it out along the line there. Yeah, that's the thing. That's why when I was able to draw this hand, he was very very happy. Especially like drawing hand wasn't easy though. That's why it's like there is when it comes to drawing all these things, it's like it's not easy. Like the classroom, all these things. It really was really a hell for me. Like I was never expecting like drawing art was actually like, especially like in school, was a moment of like, wow, damn, I actually been through all those along the line though. But in the way I'm also kind of like grateful for him though. Like, even like the funny thing is that I even end up giving him a hug as thank you along the line. Like I was actually legit shocked in a way that he actually told me at the time was that the way he talked was because he want us to stay strong, all these things. So it was kind of like funny that because he's an old man, so he was like telling us that, hey, you must be strong, you need to understand on how to draw all these things. And I still remember when he passed me this. I'm not sure if it still have it or not. Because I still have all the drawing material here. I know Nemu-san is gonna be mad at this because Nemu-san is like saying like it's the thing that everyone needs. Wait. Mate, I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry, I was wondering why is that a mix. Like there was a phone sound, so I'm wondering what happened. Some art teacher already gone. There was a lot of things that I've been through a lot that I remember that when he taught me on how to draw all these things, like wasn't easy in a way though. But I can't remember what I remember he gave me something, but I'm not sure whether what was the thing that he gave me though. Right, all the thing I have to. Yeah, so the funny thing is, right, if in case anyone wondering like where is my sharpener, okay. This is the sharpener.
our sharpener is basically using pen knife. It's basically like, in case anyone want to know, right? You have to, like, basically, instead of using those kind of normal sharpener, it's kind of like a moment of, like, I still remember when I have to do it on. I don't want to do it if possible because it's gonna be a problem in a way. But you have to sharpen a freaking pencil until like this. Like like legit, like you like you can see, like, you have to sharpen the pencil until like this and then do the drawing along the line. And then after that, you have to sharpen it based on this and to be a bit more pointy along the line. It was legit like, what the hell am I even doing? That kind of mindset though. Wasn't easy though. It was kind of like a lot of things. Oh. Yeah, still got this one. Rulers, brush. I really legit don't remember though. I remember he gave me something. Found it. He gave me this. The brush, right, is when we need to clean out, and then the brush is basically just to sweep the dust away. Especially from all the erasing or all the sharpening of the pencil, those kind of things. So it's basically, the brush is basically just to brush it. But my teacher actually gave me this one. Yeah, we'll have to go through that though. Like the funny thing is, right, when we do drawing, we have to learn to draw architect in a way, or realistic thing in a way, because the main reason for that is that they want us to understand that if we can't draw people properly and the background properly, you can't be you can't do drawing. At least their mindset is based on that assumption though. So I don't think I need to share my external one. This one is more towards like if I need to do drawing in class, but most of the time if I want to draw like manga artists along the line, I have to use this pen. Yeah, that's why you have to use the brush to brush all the stuff away though. It's kind of like a thing, especially like you guys can see like the pencil I have, like I got one good pencil and I got one used up pencil along the line. So it's kind of like the funny thing is, like, when I do drawing, right, it's like I need to have one good pencil and then another pencil and then one pencil, and then the thing is I'm using the smaller one. Even if I got a new one, no, I still have to use. I'm not using the small one. So it's kind of like I think like even like Nemo-san, you don't deny that, right? It's like the drawing is kind of like, wow, you got so many nice pencils, but you end up using the old one just to finish it up along the line. There's a lot though. Like just now I show you guys, it's like even if I got HB, like the funny thing is like if I say like I got HB and MB or 2B or 3B, it's like I have to have two of each in a way. Like seriously, we need to have all of them in a way, because it's more towards like in case when we need to do the coloring to understand the shading, and some of the shading might end up not giving the one that we want in a way, and we still have to bear with it though, because it's really kind of like crazy how a lot of drawing can end up kind of like end up not giving what we want, or the coloring might not be what we want along the line, and we still need to like understand that like sometime at time when doing the drawing, it's really kind of like we need to understand that, okay, what kind of color are we going for, what kind of things that we have to go for along the line. And the drawing wasn't easy when I was studying back in Japan. Especially more so when, like earlier when I mentioned that my sensei is kind of like being fierce or whatsoever along the line. And there are times when I have to be very, very careful on what my sensei want or what my sensei desire or we go about. So it really kind of like considered crazy in a way. I mean, yeah, I mean, like even I myself also find it funny that I end up doing like the fun thing is, right, back when I was in Japan learning the drawing, it wasn't easy though. The funny thing is, right, the sensei did told me that when in real life, like in when drawing manga, we tend to only use 2B, and then when we need to do anything, they say that it was much better to use digital one, the Creep Studio that I've been showing you guys all the time. Like in terms of like drawing, it's really kind of like if we can use the digital version to edit it, and then when they send it to publisher to use it to as a published work in a way, it became easier. Because the thing is, right, I still remember when I have to learn quite a few tricks on how to do the editing in real one though. And it wasn't easy. It was kind of like, imagine you draw on a piece of paper and you do something wrong, you have to like either redraw the whole damn thing, or you have to do the correction and to make sure that when they go and scan and then put it, it'll be kind of like, wow, damn, crazy. But then it's like life in a way though. That's why it's kind of like older manga. I remember the moment of like understanding the logic was like kind of considered crazy, and I did have a digital manga artist sensei who taught me on how to do the drawing as well using digital one, and like I was like, I really did the worst one because my drawing wasn't good, and it was kind of like crazy on the drawing in the sense that I don't even understand that why is it the drawing so crazy in a way, especially more like I have to draw everything in a sense though. That's why I was like kind of like need to understand the drawing, or need to understand the way of the sensei want me in a way. So it's like a lot of things I have to put in mind in a way that whether I like it or not, it's really kind of like something that I've been through. And I still remember, I'm not sure is it in my digital one. Let me see whether I can open it up. Do a check. I mean, if in case you guys are wondering, when I say that I've been doing other job in real life, it's more towards like, in a sense, I do have a DSLR digital camera. I do have it. I'm just not sure whether I have the right one in terms of sharing, because it's more towards like I need to see through it, and I just can't recall. Oh, I think I can share some of them, some of the old one. I think I can definitely share some of the old one. This one is really like, I'm not sure whether you guys know of some of the stuff though. This one is quite very, very long ago though. Oh my god, how am I gonna show this?
Oh, there's so many of my memory. This one I think I can share. This is one of the funniest one that I ever take in my life. I'm not sure if you guys can see it or not. The image. Oh. Oh, okay. So, basically, I just need to zoom in and then you guys can see this. This is one of the things. Yeah, I did. Even back then, I have those kind of image though. It was Attack of the Titan, yes. I even have an image of this though. I think you guys saw it, right? You guys have to understand the Death Note, the Shinigami. I had to take a lot of pictures back then. Was kind of like one crazy thing. And I even take a nice, good photo. After it wasn't easy to take all those nice photos in the video. Like it was kind of like a moment of like me being a photography, taking a photo. As well, even when I was back in when I moved to Japan to do the drawing, to learn drawing. It's like it wasn't. It was even crazier when I was actually taking photo in Japan, and the drawing was like in terms of like everything is like I was even shocked when I was learning to take nice photo, and it wasn't easy, especially when there was actually a pro Japanese camera photography actually who taught me on how to take nice photo, and it was like really legit one of the things that I actually kind of like find shocking in a way though. So if I can find the one in 2016, 16, this one is not April. Yes, found it. Yeah, in a way. I almost okay. Even back when I was living in Japan, like you guys can see it, like 2018, that I was still in school there, taking photos. It's really one of the things, like a lot of things I see through it is like, wow, damn, the number of things I see back in Japan is really like crazy a lot though. And in case anyone are wondering, like, is it really in like Japan in a way? Like right now, I have to take a lot of pictures. I think I can just share this. Like just share this. And then you guys can see. Like it's really like in Japan, me just taking picture. And you guys can see it's like a few Japanese food already. So it's like I was really living in Japan, taking all these pictures to share with people. And what happened if you cross on red? Kind of like just be careful. like there is quite a lot of things that you like the funny thing. Okay, like no, I think it's more towards like even when there is no car and you cross on red, you need to be very careful. You can technically cross, but you need to be very cautious in a way, especially more towards like there was one time I'll tell you guys, okay, is that yes, you technically have to supposed to stand because the issue on hand is that Japan law on traffic was tend to be confusing in a way, and if you don't stand away, you might end up getting yourself in trouble along the line too. So like even okay, I think I can share some of the nice photos that I took, especially in Japan. It's like you guys can see it's like going to end like the end to nice moment. But like in terms of like traffic, all these things you need to be very cautious. Especially in Japan too, because they always have, for some reason, some people, even if you say it's safe or not safe along the line, it's like sometimes you might end up getting attacked from out of nowhere. Like if you guys seen like animation and manga where they kind of like saying like, hey, you cross the street, you better be careful, because the thing is, right, sometimes there may be a truck or maybe a car speeding without you realizing it, so you need to be very, very cautious. So it's like no matter how you look at it, it's like even I still remember like one of my classmates when I take a nice photo. It's like, yeah, there's still a moment of like I take this guy holding a sword, a katana. Oh yeah, Lolo-san, you didn't know, right? I almost got hit by vehicle, especially the Isekai truck when I was back in Japan. Not once, not twice, but 7 times by a giant truck. Almost. By reversing, by the front, by whatsoever. It's like, I'm actually kind of surprised I'm still alive here as a VTuber. But yeah, I almost got hit, and one the funny thing is that when people say that ambulance is the safe one, I almost got I got hit by a taxi. That was the final one that I can recall. I was also almost got hit by a Japanese ambulance as well though. So that was kind of like crazy in a way though. You're going back to drawing. Oh yeah, it's really like 11 already. Yeah, go. But you need to stay strong, okay? Make sure you stay strong, okay? Nemo-san? I wonder if I can share. I think I did. Oh, I actually did. I think I can share this one. I hope you guys can bear with it. I need to scroll to the right one. Yada na. Yada. This was also a thing. I'm not sure though. I mean, like, it's also kind of like crazy how they kind of like put those kind of big like ambulance rushing to save people inside their car, but when they kind of like never look into the surrounding, it kind of like cause even more issue along the line. So that was kind of like crazy in a way though. But yeah, it's kind of like the number of things that I love to share. Can't believe I had to take out my digital DSLR camera just to share some of the image that I took back in Japan. Especially also is like some of the things the number of things I've been through, especially back in Japan, was like I almost got hit by trucks and got isekai along the line, but then again, I mean, like that was crazy in the way though. Thank you very much, Karin-san. Dude, why is it the thing never gets shut? Well, I'm pretty sure I set out the alarm. Was the alarm not on? If you guys say isekai. Hey, okay, I have to admit one thing, okay? Even I myself need to be very cautious on that end, okay? As a boy. Do explain that. I'm kind of curious. Like what? Like I thought you'd be like saying like me. Like I gonna change into like I'm gonna do all the nice movement along the line. Not saying like in a bad way, okay? Don't get me wrong. It's more towards like why because you said but as a boy, so it's like okay. Now I'm curious in a way. Also, Kathleen-san, you want a reading? since you joined, do you want a reading as well? I can call you Lolo-chan or Lolo-sama. Okay, I'll call you Lolo-chan then. You have to understand one thing. The reason why I keep calling San is more towards like when I was living in Japan. I have to, like okay. This one I think is more towards like it's more towards not bad, but it kind of like depends on people to people. So in a way is that there are times they always tell me keigo wa yada desu. So the funny thing is right when I was living in Japan, there was actually quite a few Japanese people that I worked with, and they always say that Ame-san. They will call me Ame-san. They will call Ame. 私は let's say for example A さんじゃねえよ A でお願い It's like they would say like don't call me Mr. A さん or Miss A さん along the line. It's actually more towards like they prefer like if they want you to call them by whatsoever, they will call you whatsoever. But they will say that if さんはやらない or basically さんは結構 so it's basically kind of like they don't want you to call them son, then you don't use it. But if they say that if you call them, but the thing is when you call them for the first time, you have to use the son. It's kind of like Japanese original courtesy and being humble in a way, so that you have to use the son. So it's like they would prefer to you call like the funny thing is that even I am as an old man, okay, even I have quite a few people who I'm actually older than them. The funny thing is that they always don't call me son. Like I actually even got one of my chef who is only like a few years older than me, and he never called me son at all. The funny thing is right, he always say that Ami-kun, and I was like, hi, 何度でしょうか? I was like, oh, like legit for some reason I feel like he's younger than me or older than me, or even like there was even one girl who was younger than me and ended up calling me Ami-kun. I was like, hi, 何でしょうか? it was kind of like funny in a way that in Japan it's more towards like there are some people who will really go out of the way to call, like, are they gonna call you san or are you call you kun or whatever along the line. It's really kind of like crazy in how some people will go with the mindset of saying like, is it good or is it bad. It was more towards like if they able to accept it, then okay, you might want to be you might want to be careful on that end, and you just say that, hi Ame-san or whatever. So earlier when I call you son, it's like, please understand, I actually been taught that way in Japan. But if you're fine with it and I call you that, and I will call you that along the line too. So I think I'll call you Lolo-chan for now, from now on. Much easier. Especially more so, right, is that like there was even time like in Japan, like there was case of like, if anyone are wondering like, is kun better or san better or whatever, it's actually more towards like san is actually the first time calling, and if people never make noise about it, it's fine. But if people start making noise, or people feel like it along the line, it's better way is always san. Chan kun, like, yeah, there was even one time I was even called Ame Chan. Okay, it's kind of like funny. There was even one. There was basically a moment of like when some of the people who are like overly older than me, like some of the oji-san or oba-san, like all the old grandma or grandpa, right? Like when they call me, they always call me Ame-chan. I was like, nani? I have to say in the most like funny way, just to joke back with them. And I still remember the time when one of the old men who actually took care of me when I was back in Japan, like when I was going to return to Singapore and I was actually going to say that my last goodbye, and now that I was actually 2 weeks late, because that time it was like it was kind of opening away. I was wondering like why I didn't see him, and now that he and being move on to the another life, and I was kind of like sad in a way, but I was only know about it 2 weeks late, and can't really say too much though. Hi, Lolo-chan. Wakarimashita. Like, it's kind of depends though, like especially more so like when I was living in Kyoto for 6 years, like some of the people that I spoke with is actually more towards like they using the ancient Japanese language. Like it's kind of funny because the thing is, right, when I moved there to study Japanese language for 1 year, I was not expecting that the place I was living was actually mostly older people, and there was quite a few young people along the line, like the young kids, and they actually taught me like on how to speak in a sense to most people along. And I was kind of like amazed on how they taught me a lot of stuff, a lot of things, and it was kind of like interesting in a way that some of the things that I learned back in Japan was actually really thanks to Kyoto. Like the funny thing is like people always say that Kyoto is kind of like 何かやばいですよね like all like 受け時計は綺麗ですよね。背筋はとても綺麗ですよね。何やってるんですか？お茶は必要ですか？ Like those kind of like Japanese moment where they always have a second meaning, and it's really kind of like crazy. A lot of things that I seen through back in Kyoto is like I learned that a lot of things when they say, right, it's really crazy and have a different meaning. And when I speak to some of my Tokyo friend, the Japanese people, and they actually told me that, oh, so that was Kyoto dake desu, which basically mean that it's only happening in Kyoto. And I actually learned that a lot of things I've been through was actually kind of like they were surprised that I was living there able to live for 6 years. They thought that I won't be able to bear with for at least 1-2 years, but for me, I lived there for 6 freaking years, seen through a lot of things, learned a lot of things, and even like
managed to go to Kyoto Animation to learn a few things along the line, and it's really kind of like crazy that a lot of things I've been seen through, read through, understand through, and understanding the logic of a lot of things is really different from learning from Tokyo, because especially more so I actually live in Tokyo for 1 month to learn the basic, for just to kind of like understand all things that I can go through, things that I'm able to been through along the line, and it's kind of crazy in a way though. I have to at least admit that. But at the very least, I would definitely say that a lot of things I've been through and seen through is like, it's crazy in a way. But at least for now, I mean, now you guys know. A lot of things. See through, been through, seen through. Who knows? I mean, like, at least for now, I guess it's like, let me see. Can I see the moon right now? Nope, can't see the moon. The cloud is still blocking it. So, okay. But definitely I can see the sky is still a bit bright in a way, despite the moon. When I was in Tokyo for 1 month, I was living in the Minato section, and mainly because actually wanted to, because my friend wanted to go to Shinjuku, not just Shinjuku, it's like he basically want to go to Akihabara, Robogi, and Shinjuku is also, we did went to Shinjuku, we went to Harajuku. And the funny thing is, I still remember we also went all the way to, we take the train, the Shinkansen all the way to was it Nakato? I think it was Nakato. Oh, you have no idea, okay? Back then when AKB48 was, when the cafe was still there, right? The funny thing is, right, I still feel a bit pissed off in a way that when I introduced him to AKB48 at the time, like he was like, oh, it's nothing much. But then 1 month after he listened to their song and whatsoever along the line, I was legit actually kind of like find it very funny where he actually said that, I mean, we should go to Japan, and we actually went to Japan. And the thing is, right, I wanted to go to other places, but the thing is, we end up going to Akihabara for freaking 1 week. Like, we really went there for 1 freaking week, because the thing is, right, and the funny thing is that he ended up buying a lot of stuff on AKB48. But when it comes to figuring all these things, I end up buying quite a few myself, so I can also not even innocent for him in a sense though. But the thing is, like, the number of things I've seen, especially back in Japan when I was in, is like, what the heck? That freaking 1 month of staying in Kyoto, right? It's kind of like crazy, especially like 1 week to understand all this, and it's really amazing in a way that the number of things that back then was really like, well, I get to see it. And the only sad thing was like Akihabara got quite a few big name shop shutting down or closed down, so it's really kind of like one of the things that, well, damn, I never get to experience those things again. So that was kind of like sad in a way there. If you can do good, it will be good though. I mean, like, it's a good experience in a way. The country. Well, I mean, like, technically you can use it as a reference to understand it, because it will become like a moment of like, like, I would definitely say like a moment of enjoying it would be the best way to go for now though. Like, not saying like in a bad way, okay? It's more towards like, if you get to enjoy it, that would be the good way. At least from how I look at it though. Yeah, the funny thing is that when I was like
living in Japan, Kyoto, I even like I have to work part time just to take the Shinkansen just to go. The funny thing is, right, if you guys think that the Shinkansen is cheaper even though when I'm living in Japan, no, they only cheaper for if you are living in Japan as a tourist. So if I stay there as under a visa, the Shinkansen is not cheap at all. Like legit, like from Kyoto all the way to Tokyo, you guys have to imagine like I have to pay $150 for one trip only. And then if I want to return, I have to take another $150 back along the line. It's like, wow, damn, I'm paying a lot of money. But then if you're a foreigner and you're visiting as a tourist along the line, then you get to pay lesser in a way though, because it's kind of like, you can showcase, you got the tourist discount along the line. And they kind of like got a lot of Japanese people that I know that I spoke to that was saying like, why is it that foreign like people who are staying there, we have to pay the full amount, that people who are staying going there as vacation, they can get some sort of discount along the line. So yeah, I was like, wow, 安くないですよな、高いんですよ. Like it's legit crazy though. Yeah, the funny thing is, right, leave for even 1 second is considered a problem in Japan. No matter what train, even if it's an electric, like the subway, if it's the bullet train or whatever train, it's like any train. To Japanese people, right, even 1 second is considered a problem. It's kind of like interesting. The one thing from what I do understand from my when I was living in Japan, I was told that every second count for all the train. So the train will always try to go fast, and then when they need to leave, like they will try to reach the next station earlier, so that when they leave, it will be on time. Wow, Germany, isn't that nice? That is insane. But then again, I can also admit that even in Singapore, on time, but not really on time in a way. They will just say that. Like the funny thing is that in Singapore, the 1 minute, right, where they say arriving in 1 minute, 5 minutes ago. I will need to Google that later on. I will need to Google on German real way later on. But the one thing is like, there was actually kind of like a moment of, even in Singapore, where they say that train arriving in 1 minute, 5 minutes ago. But I think it's like, at least Singapore and Japan is kind of good on the way that it's clean though. Oh, don't tell me about the New York City though. I actually got one friend live near there, and when she showed me that how dirty it was, I was like legit shocked though. She actually showed me the news, like when I actually asked her like, is all those crazy videos that people share on about New York City subway, is it really that crazy? She said it's really legit one of the worst one. Not always have the good one from what I was told, but like the dirtiness is also legit one of the things. That's why I was actually kind of like, it's like, wow, damn, I didn't know it was that crazy in a way though. There are actually like I mean like, we can't deny there are nice people in New York City, but when we look at some of the dirty part, is really crazy though. Got depression from that. Yeah, I think all the more you need to. Okay, I think it's more towards like, we use that as an experience, use it as a learning moment, and don't use it as a like, don't remember all the bad stuff. It's like bad stuff, yes, but make sure that not make it a thing of like making it forever. In Sharou. Dude, I think I can share this I think it's, I think it's like more like I can just look it up. In a way, I'm gonna open the west. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the camera first. Take out the keyboard. The box. Window catcher 2. Okay. So the funny thing is, right? This one is kind of like a friend of mine who visited me in Singapore. The one thing I think you guys might be shocked would be like Singapore littering fine. It's actually a thing though. It's actually kind of like funny. It's kind of like funny in a way. Is that in Singapore, if you being caught for littering, you not only get a fine, you have to pay for it in a way though. Like I feel like your country need to use this at the moment, because in Singapore we have this a thing. Like you have like you find you first time offender, you pay for it, be it a cigar bar, a weapon, whatever, and then you like and then repeated offender will have to pay up to 2,000 to 10,000 along the line. I feel like your country need to have this as a law. And this is one of the reasons why Singapore is considered a clean and green area. It's because of this law though. Lolo Jang, I feel like if you do start as a VTuber out and you start going to say that, hey, Germany is dirty, all these things, and I think you really say that, hey, we should use Singapore clean littering fine as the baseline. I feel like you don't need to be activities. You do not need to be activities to say that you must have your country must have this. I feel like you must say that I feel like you can say it in this way. We can use Singapore rule as a way to keep our country clean. And then I feel like your country will be like saying like, what kind of stupid rule it is? I say that a Singaporean can use it. If Germany can use it as a way to improve, I think that this will be a good way to improve our country in a way though. Like at least say that, hey, if no one want to get fined, don't litter. And when people don't litter, at least they don't get fined. But if they get fined, the money should be used to improve in a way. So I feel like this should be a good way to use as a reference if you want to. And you don't need to say that, hey, I'm an activities along the line. You can just say that you are using another country as a good reference to share the good thing as a good example, and say that why is Singapore a clean and green? Because they freaking have this kind of penalty. So spitting in public $1,000 or littering, even cigar bar 300 fine along the line. It's like, dude, it's gonna be a strong case where many people may reject it, but if they don't want it to be happening, like they don't want to get fined, then obviously it'll be even more better because they won't want it to happen though. But if Japan, right? I'm not sure about China, but I can definitely say like Japan, since I lived there for 6 years, you need to understand the Japan rule and kind of like for foreigner who like, let's say for example, let's say that you're going to work there, foreign workers along the line. I think it's more towards like the visa is the main issue. Not the Korean, Japan rule of law. What was it? Daily, not wages. Daily. What was the thing that I want to check again? Japan. Foreign. Let's say foreign worker. rule and regulation. I think that would be the better one. Yeah, the working, all those things, this verification, all these things, the test you have to pay, but but at the very least, right, the one thing I think is, I think it's much better if I just share the things. I did share about one thing is that basically you have to make sure that you have to have a sum of money, because the thing is, right, when you rent a house in Japan, I think this one, Kathleen-san wasn't, I also want to listen in case. So the thing is, right, when you want to rent a house for foreigner, right, you have to have a sum of money. Basically you have to have a sum of money, and things to note along the line. It's possible, but the proceed is require a significant all these things. So basically, yep. I recommend to use real estate. It's kind of like that. That is one of the things that you guys have to be assured to make sure. Like even if they're gonna pay more for it, not wrong, but you have to find the real one, because if you can't find the them or they is able to help foreigner, normally you can't rent a place, because they will just say that they'll reject you regardless. Like traditional agency always reject it, and a lot of time I have to find my agency to like even cancel whatsoever, and then a copy of whatsoever, all these things. But you also need to, the main issue is that we have to a bank account, a Japanese bank account. So if you don't have it, you never create it, you can't rent a place along the line. And even if they say that, oh, you can still pay whatever, no. And the fun thing is that the strong upfront cost, right, you're gonna have to be very, very careful, is that you have to actually pay the key money. Lei King is basically a it's kind of like funny, okay, when they say a non-refundable gift, right, usually 1 or 2 month rent, it's basically like you pay them the amount, and even if they say that if they say, oh, there is a 1-2 month rent, you're giving the money them for free though. And then the security deposit is basically they will end up giving you back at the start, at once you do make sure that you rent the full period. So as example, if you rent for 1 year, then when you pay if you stay for 1 year, they have no need to pay back the deposit. But if you don't pay, like if you rent for, let's say, 10 months, not 1 year, then they will not return you the deposit though, because that's why they say it's partly refundable. Because the thing is, they will make sure that you renting for at least 1 freaking year. If you say it's 1 year, if you rent for 2 years, then it's for 2 years. It's always in that sense though. And then the agent's fee is basically like, if let's say for example, if you are renting for, let's say $500, then like the place will say that, oh, you're renting for at least $550. The $50 is meant for the agency fee. It's normally around 10%. It's crazy a lot, but then it's kind of like something I've been through myself. So it's kind of like one of the things you have to be very, very careful. Now the guarantor is also needed in a way that you have to understand one thing, is you have to pay to a guarantor company, another company that you end up paying additional amount. So it's kind of like this is the main issue if you want to live in Japan. And I live in Japan for 6 years. So the main issue I faced was basically this, the high upfront cost. This was the main problem at the time though. Yeah, that's why Lolo-chan, you have to understand that it's not like trying to disencourage you to go if you want to go to Japan. It's like the problem living in Japan is the high upfront cost. So for example, like if the rent you pay $500 per month, you have to actually upfront pay 2,000 plus for the one time, just so that you can stay for 1 year, and then you have to pay every month of 500 along the line. It's kind of like crazy in a way though. For VTuber Corporation, okay, let's say for example, if Hololive do hire you, let's say for example, okay, if Hololive do end up hiring you, they have to make sure that you are paid enough that you can move to Japan. From my understanding in the back end is that they have to make sure that you have the money to stay in Japan. Then all those things the company have to pay in a way though. But that is only if they are willing to do so. That's why it's like the issue, because the company will have to be the guarantor. Because if not, they can't do so though. That's why it's like a lot of things that I seen back in Japan is crazy in a way, and the issue on hand is like, don't sign without understanding document condition, the bait, all these things. It's like you have to understand a lot of things. Living in Japan, it's not just only learning Japanese. It's more towards like you need to go through the hell for the first time, and I've been through the first hell, and once you leave, you have to go through the hell again too. The number of things I've been through is crazy though. Especially like a lot of things that I've seen in a way. It's not saying like is it a good thing or is it a bad thing. It's more towards like a lot of things I've seen through, right? It's insane though that I don't even know what to highlight, and a lot of people ask me like, is Japan a good place or Japan a bad place? It's actually more towards like, if the like I've seen a lot of good things, a lot of bad things. Like good things I would definitely say like learning a lot of animation, a lot of manga, getting to take photo with cosplayer in Japan, original Japanese people, and speaking in Japanese all day to understand. But at the same time, the issue on hand that I have to highlight is that, was I scammed in Japan? I would have said to admit though, I was scammed by people before, or told to be like things that is actually true but end up not being true along the line, or things that I know that is kind of like crazy and I end up seeing it along the line, or even like speaking to Yakuza people. Those are the crazy day back then. Nah, it's fine, Loda-chan. I mean, like, some of them are already sleeping already. They're kind of like being on the quiet side. Like, Nemo-san just now, like, back to drawing. Cat-san, I probably think she's also drawing. So I don't think you need to worry on that end. As well, it's got on my end right now, it's gonna be 12 midnight in 11 minute time. So yeah, for me, I have to go and take a shower before I sleep though. That's the thing. Yeah, because I have to make sure that I stay healthy. Because I have to admit, the one thing is that I was not expecting myself to suffer something bad last year though. Yeah, you have to understand. For me, I kind of like suffer from I have to say, it's like I suffer from a deadly stroke that I almost died last year, and after that I've been very very careful to stay healthy, because it's like having a brain surgery to stay alive, and been through a lot of hell, even relearning on how to walk along the line. So right now I'm in a good health condition, at the very least I can admit that. But at the same time, being told that I might have died last year was kind of like crazy in a way. So yeah, at least I'm healthy and able to talk and chit chat. That's really kind of like good in a way though. Yeah, thank you. So that being said, I will do my usual sign out for now. So thanks for watching, guys. I will see you guys again at the next video or live stream. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a nice day or night. Otsukare. Bye bye. And don't need to worry. We can chat more on the next stream or something along the line. Good night.